Hello and welcome to the 5th video of my Left 4 Dead 2 mapping tutorial series. In the last episode, we learned how to create and polish up a Navmesh, but zombies still don't spawn in our map, and that's because we don't have the safe rooms and level transitions working yet. Without these things, the map has no progression or flow. You could take a look at the flow of a map from start to finish by opening the console and typing nav_edit1, z_debug1, and z_show_flow_delta1. Take a look around at the nav areas. You'll see that they will all be pointing in random directions. What we want is for the arrows to find their way to the safe room, and we need to do a few things to achieve that goal. Firstly, we need to set up entities that make the safe rooms and level transitions functional. The obvious first thing we need to do is make the actual safe room door. Place a prop_door_rotating_checkpoint entity and open its properties. Double click the world model line to open the model browser. Search for checkpoint and look for the checkpoint_door series of models. Because this safe room is at the end of the level, we need to select either of the two checkpoint_door_02 models. These are the entrance models. The 01 variations are the exit models. The negative variation is just a mirrored version. Static means the door will not function as a door, only as a prop. With the model selected, hit apply to show your changes. With the door selected, we can see a hollow box at the hinge of the door. This shows where the door will rotate around in game. Back in the door's properties, look for the spawn position line. This value allows you to set if the door spawns open. Valve maps make the safe room door spawn open, so we should do it too. Open clockwise and open counterclockwise. You can quickly determine clockwise by looking at the door from the top right 2D viewport, which should be set to top XY. You should have a static version of the safe room door exit in the room like I have here, for continuity's sake. To seal the void, I have a brush texture with tools black behind the door. Now we have to place an info_landmark entity, which makes sure everything in the safe room is aligned correctly upon the level transition. Place an info landmark entity somewhere in the safe room and align it to the grid for ease of use later. We need to give it a name. I recommend using a naming scheme that's consistent across all your maps in the campaign. All maps need a uniquely named landmark if there's a level transition, but keep the names consistent. I'll name it landmark_TM1_TM2. using the abbreviated map names to indicate the current map and the next map it transitions to. The name of the info landmark needs to be 31 characters or less. If you exceed that limit, they will not function. Then, make a brush that envelops the entire safe room and texture it with the tool's trigger texture. If your safe room is not a simple hollow box, then make more trigger brushes if necessary. Turn the trigger brush, or brushes, into an info_change_level entity with Ctrl+T. In the info change levels properties, put the name of the next map to transition to in the new map name field. Use the actual name of the map file, excluding the .bsb extension. Next, put the name of the landmark for this safe room in the landmark name field. When you change levels, everything should be the same. You shouldn't load into the next map and see different geometry and detail, it would be jarring and confusing. So to effectively make a level transition, we'll just copy and paste this safe room over into the next map. Select everything you want to carry over and select the info_landmark entity and press Ctrl+C to copy. Now, start a new map file. Paste what you copied with Ctrl+Shift+V. This shortcut opens the paste special window, which allows you to paste what you copied in the exact same spot. Very useful to us. Press OK. Now source games have a maximum boundary, seen by scrolling all the way out in a 2D viewport. If your map is super big, like Left 4 Dead 2 maps usually are, you'll want to move the map over back towards the center. We can easily do that by pressing Ctrl+M to open the transformation window. My safe room is right of the y-axis, so I'll move my map left -8,192 units by selecting Move and putting an X value of -8,192. Move your safe room in powers of 2, preferably larger than 16, so your map remains aligned with the grid. With our safe room ported over to the next map and it moved over closer to the center, we can now change up the entity so that it functions within this next map. Delete the info_change_level brush entity, as it is no longer of use. When a level transition occurs in Left 4 Dead 2, the entrance door to the safe room is no longer interactive, and the exit door that was previously non-interactive becomes interactive. Double click on the entrance door and change its entity class to a prop_static. Next, find the static version of the door model you chose. Put a tools black texture brush behind the entrance door to seal it away from the void. Now, double click on the exit door and change its class to a prop_door_rotating_checkpoint. The model that is currently selected is the static version. We need to use the normal version so it functions. Next, look for the property labeled body and set it to 1. This enables the bar that falls off before survivors exit the safe room. Remember we put a black brush behind the exit door to seal away the void? Now it has no purpose, so we can delete it. Place an info_player_start entity down. Lastly, because this is a safe room and not the start of a campaign, we need to change what music plays at the start by going to the map properties panel and changing the start music type property to checkpoint. Because this is a new map file entirely, you'll need to remember to carry over things like the light_environment and env sun entities, etc. Compile both this new map and the previous one, then load up the previous one in-game. We're at the home stretch. The last thing we need to do to get zombie spawning and safe rooms working is to mark it as such in the Navmesh with the checkpoint attribute. This attribute has many behaviors. For the starting safe room of a level, no zombies will spawn, and the safe room music keeps playing until a survivor steps out of an area not marked with checkpoint. For the ending safe room of a level, it's used as the goal for the AI to reach, and thus creates the flow we've been looking for in the beginning. Type in nav_edit1 and z_debug1. We're in the first level where there isn't a safe room door, but the logic and behavior still applies. Select all the nav areas you want to act as a safe room with nav_add_2_selected_set and mark it with the mark checkpoint console command. Go to the ending safe room for the level and select all the areas again and mark it. You can heavily expedite this process with the command nav_select_radius. Type that in, followed by a radius to select everything around you, then mark. If you selected too much, you can clear your entire selected set with nav_clear_selected_set. Next, we need to use one final console command to put a bow on this Navmesh adventure. Type in the console nav_analyze. This will run through a million processes and lag the game, just let it be. The map will reload when it's done. I lied. We actually need to type in one more console command to playtest the map. Type in the console director_start, because using nav_analyze turns off the director. If you've done everything correctly, you could walk around your map and see zombies and specials spawn. We'll trek all the way to the safe room to test the level transition. The level won't change with nav_edit1 active, so turn it off. And voila, it works. Just to be sure, we should toggle z_show_flow_delta3 to see if the arrows flow towards the safe room. A working Navmesh will have all the arrows find their way to the safe room. If your arrows don't do this, then it means the Navmesh still isn't working correctly. There is one reason for this. There is not a way for the survivor AI to make it to the safe room. Go down the main path of your map, looking for any disconnects in the Navmesh along the way and fixing them. Once you fix them, analyze the Navmesh with nav_analyze and check if the Navmesh flows properly. Save the Navmesh when you're all done with nav_save. This concludes the 5th video of my Left 4 Dead 2 Hammer tutorial series. We have the Navmesh fully functional. Further videos in this series will be going over features that take advantage of the Navmesh, starting with weapon and item spawns. Thank you for watching.